everyone to the MyMac.com podcast. This is the number that Gaz just said just a second ago. And yeah, he tried. He tried his best. Didn't happen. When you have a conference that's usually in Las Vegas, one of the least distraction-free cities anywhere in the world, is it still as much fun if it goes virtual? Some think yes, because you can get right down to business. Others say, no, I want my lights and glitter. Hello, Gaz. How are you, sir? All things considered.
All things considered, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, very good, very good. Been playing with my M1. I've moved a lot of stuff across to.
So you're on it now, then?
To it. Well, yes and no.
You're not on it right now.
I'm not on it right now, although I am running it right now, and I've actually got the notes and everything else in it. But I couldn't do the audio because I was last minute Jack. Because before this, unfortunately, I had to go to a old school friend's funeral before the show, so I didn't really have time to get that set up before. So I'm sure you'll forgive me for that. However, to be honest with you, Guy, I have been doing a bit of stuff with the M1 this week, and I've got to say I'm not that impressed. Caveat, yet. It's not really, I still haven't really had a good chance to, put it through its paces. Yes, I've still occasionally had a beach ball of death. Yes, I tried the trick of opening every single application to see how many jumps they did. No, they didn't do any jumps. But so far, I'm not seeing those massive increases of speed. But I think I mentioned this last week, so I've still yet to really go through the process of really pushing it to see where it's improved. But okay, I think I will be impressed eventually. I'm still not liking Big Sur that much. I've got to be honest. But
really,
again. No, it's. I think I said last week it'll grow on me, and it is starting to grow on me. But there's still one or two things. Certainly, mail. I think they've put mail through the shredder and tried to sellotape it back together, and not done a very good job.
How does that work?
Well, it doesn't. That's the problem.
Oh,
because unfortunately, I think they put it through one of these cross shredders, which makes it very difficult. So mail's the biggest fail, I think, so far in Big Sur for me. Most other stuff is just, it's fine. But yeah.
But it is colorful.
Well, apart from the menu bar, I want that grayed out, really. I don't want that, being quite so, what's the word I'm looking for when you can see through something?
Garish?
No, it's not garish. It's because it's
transparent.
The transparency on it is far too high. I.e., you can see through it far too well. I'd prefer to be able to either turn it on or off and have a grey menu bar, which I think I can do. But then it looks a bit garish. So I don't know. Apple, there's a few things here that need tweaking, but they do that, don't they? They probably take feedback and do. So we'll see. I'm okay with it. I'm not pulling my hair out thinking I wish I hadn't done it. I'm just thinking, yeah.
I never pull my hair out.
No, well, if you did, that'd be a lot of hair in the back of your head gone.
It would be.
Anyway, how about you? You've not been doing anything with any. Well, I mean, there's no way that you could do any more with any part of your sound system because you've done it already. So, what have you been doing this week?
Hold on just a minute.
Hold on just a minute.
Yeah, I don't know if this is recording correctly. Okay, it was. So what was the last thing? Well, I mean, it was this weird color over in Hindenburg, and I was like,
okay,
right, I didn't want to go through.
Right. So, do you want me to do that bit again?
Just me hear what you said.
I can say so, Guy.
Okay, that was funny.
Tell me where you want to start.
How do I? What is going on with Hindenburg? Oh, okay. Oh. I was trying to use my trackpad to expand it.
Wait, hold on. I screwed up.
No, it's this Mac is screwing up. Everything related to Bluetooth is weird. Now the Apple trackpad isn't working like it's supposed to.
I've got to say, I've got two Bluetooth mice on my desk, a Bluetooth trackpad, and two Bluetooth keyboards. Mouse 2 and keyboard 2 is linked to my M1. Trackpad, keyboard 1, mouse 1 is connected to my old iMac. I've had no Bluetooth issues on either.
Well, those are all Apple devices, though, right?
They are, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's...
Well, there's your answer, you see.
Yeah.
You can't get away with trying to be clever and go non-Apple. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I hope you're recording this.
No, I'm not, as a matter of fact. I'm trying to get caught up from where we were. Okay, the last thing you were asking me, you were saying that there was no way I could be doing anything more with my audio. And oh my God.
And then you could jump in, of course.
Yeah, I'll jump in right here. All right, I'm getting ready to hit record again. Of course, it's going to look really weird in the video because all the video is being recorded. It'd be like, "Rrr, rrr." Well, you'd say that I couldn't do anything more with my audio, Gaz, and you would be wrong because sometime last year, so, we were having a discussion earlier about days of the week that I seem to have trouble with.
Yes, yeah.
Imagine something I did last year coming back and going, oh, that thing you did last year, here it is. Because I was kind of like, oh, well, that's right. I did that thing. What that thing was a Kickstarter program for this device called the Moana Caster. And it's kind of like the Rodecaster Pro, except not. They both have XLR inputs and they both have programmable sound buttons and 3.5 millimeter inputs and outputs, but it kind of goes off the rails from there. It's very finicky, and I should have been somewhat reluctant to continue with it when we got it. Both myself and Dave Ginsburg bought one of these things. We bought into this Kickstarter program.
Yep.
And we got an email some time ago saying that, oh, well, this is going to be Windows only. And the two of us were like, what? So they shipped out the first batch to people who only had Windows, and you could, they sent us an email and they said, well, if you want the Mac version, it's going to take longer, but if you want to go ahead and get the Windows version, we'll send that to you. And the two of us were like, no.
What is the point of us getting the Windows version?
Not much. So we waited, and it finally came, and so it was $149.
His name was Guy.
It was
there?
No fooling.
Oh, sorry, that's my. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
There. Yeah, sorry. Bad me. Hands up, bad me.
Wait, sorry, hold on. I screwed up.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
So, it's got, Dave's cost $149, which was basically just this little mixer device, the Moana Caster.
Yeah. And
it came with a free lavalier microphone, one of those little clip microphones.
Yeah.
And I know this will probably not come as a shock. The one that I ordered was a kit that came with a microphone. So it also came with Moana blah, 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 blah condenser microphone. And it's actually a very nice microphone. I was kind of like, yeah, that's substantial. So set it all up, and I've used it now on Chuck Joyner's Mac Voices show last Tuesday, and then I used it on the Mac to the Future show on Wednesday. And it was pretty much a spectacular fail on both days.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it could very well be that I didn't have it set up properly.
Yeah.
But it's, you know what? We'll talk a little bit more about it, I think, in the next section.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah, instead of making this, because we got a lot of stuff to go through here in this first part here.
Yeah.
Including, and I got to make sure I've got everything set up for this, because we haven't had to do this. We haven't had to do this in a while.
I hope you have.
Yeah, we have not one article from MyMac.
Not two.
Not two.
Not three.
We have four. And part of it is because, wait, I screwed up.
Yeah.
Last week, when I should have had these first two, should have been part of the show last week, but they weren't. And I was reminded of it by, I got an email from Elisa.
You say Pacelli and I say Pacelli.
And she reminded me, she's like, oh, you guys don't do the MyMac stuff anymore. And it's like, oh, sure we do. And then she was like, well,
I'd like
well,
to. Well, yes.
There was this article. So I'll start us off.
Okay.
And the first one is Take Control of Managing Your Files. This is a book review by Elisa.
You say Pacelli and I say Pacelli.
She says, we've all been there. We just know that file is saved somewhere on our computer. We just can't remember where or what we named it. So we could throw everything on the desktop, regardless of file type, and pray to the computer gods that we'll be able to find what it is we're looking for when we need to. Such a waste of time and an easy way to misplace an important document or folder. Spend a little time reading Take Control of Managing Your Files by Jeff, what's his name? Carlson. There we go. And you'll be on your way to organizational bliss.
Excellent. Otterbox iPhone 12 Defender series case. This is a review by Wus Rokovich. Russ has been using Otterbox cases for his iPhones for many years now. Well regarded, built to protect an iPhone from just about everything. Otterbox has continued the tradition with the Defender case for the iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro. If you've made the jump to the iPhone 12 or 12 Pro and think that the color improvements as well as the new look for the iPhone make it something to be seen and not hidden in the case, he would agree with you, except for the fact that things happen in everyday use. Since you now have an iPhone that costs you close to $1,000 or more, better be safe than sorry. Accidents happen, and it's better to take care of your investment unless you have tons of cash and you just don't care. Go over to MyMac and read Russ's review of the Otterbox 12 Defender Case Series boxes.
Yeah, we all have tons of cash.
Yeah.
Everybody. So the next one is Otterbox iPhone 12 Symmetry Series Case Review by, let's see, Cuss Warowich. Something like that. Okay. Russ decided that he would try out a clear case on his iPhone 12 Pro as he liked the Pacific blue color of the phone and wanted to see how it would show off the phone yet still provide the necessary protection. Having used Otterbox cases for a long time, including the previous review, he was totally surprised, Gaz, by the difficulties he encountered in trying to get the phone into the case. He continually tried to place the phone into the case, starting from the bottom, then from the top, then from the volume control side, then from the power control side, and all of it with no luck. And if you want to read about the adventures that Russ had getting this case on, go on over to mymac.com.
You're such a temptress. You really are. I see what you did there. You naughty little person there. And the final MyMac thingy
will sound familiar.
Might sound familiar because it's that science thing, that sciencey thing. This is an opinion by Mr. Sci Girl. Yes, Guy knows sciencey isn't really a word, but if it fits the narrative, so that's where he's going with it. Also, by thing, he means solutions to issues he's had moving to Apple's new M1 series of processors for the latest Macs. Pretty much everyone has agreed that as far as transits go, it's been remarkably smooth. But that doesn't mean there haven't been some problems.
Yeah.
Go over if you haven't heard all of those problems on this show already and find out and have a laugh. I mean, work out how you can avoid them by reading Guy's opinion piece over on MyMac.
Yeah, thank God Bluetooth earphones work great.
Not.
Or not.
Yeah, okay. Right, I think, Guy, that we are pretty much now ready for that time.
Oh, what time is that?
Gaz's Snippets. Apple and Hyundai to sign Apple Car deal by March with production beginning in 2024. Mm-hmm. Well, Ollie, I'm not so sure.
Here's another fine mess you've gotten us into, Hyundai.
More on that news story a little later as well. M1 Mac Bluetooth problems finally set to be resolved, says Apple.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for saying it. Could you just get on and do it, please?
Yeah. I would rather have less press releases about it and more software releases about it.
Apple highlights the commitment to privacy in new ads on the first day of CES 2021. Guess what? They did that. I think they did that last year, and that kind of backfired on them a little bit, just a little bit. Apple and Biogen announced new research study to investigate how Apple Watch can detect declines in cognitive health. I think they've probably passed it for us, Guy.
I was going to say, start it now. Look, here's my watch. Start it right now. Don't wait. No,
I think they've passed.
There's no time.
It's too late. Apple releases 12.5.1 with exposure notifications bug fix for older iPhones. There are a load of other iPhone releases and Apple TV releases, but they were mainly beta, and I haven't mentioned them later on. But I wanted to mention this one because it is for older iPhones. Mac shipments rise significantly in Q4 2020 amid the overall PC market growth. Well, so they should.
Yeah, it's kind of like, wow, really? So the market is growing and Apple's market grew.
They are sitting fairly comfortably, though, in a good fourth position. If you remember, they always used to be around fifth, but they're in a fairly commanding fourth. They've got quite a long way in terms of shipments to go to actually catch up with the next one, which is Dell. But that's
Michael
fine.
Dell should just sell all of his stock and close the company down then.
Yeah, I think he should have done. Well, probably he did. Apple picks up Sky-Fi project from Andy Samberg and Ben Stiller. Apple are to reveal their Q1 21, that's Q1 year 21, earnings results on January 27th. Among Us led the most downloaded mobile games ranking in December 2020.
I'm sorry, what did Epic say? Was that an epic loss? Was that an epic fail?
I'm saying nothing. I'm saying absolutely nothing. I might get sued. iPhone 12 sales in China nearly hit 18 million units in the Q4 of 2020. Apple glasses could automatically unlock your Apple devices.
Only with Apple tags.
Well, also only with Apple glasses.
Yeah.
I don't need glasses. Why won't my Mac unlock? Oh, that's because I don't need glasses. Hang on a minute.
I have to go see my optometrist so I can need glasses.
Yeah, got put pins in my eyes so I've got need glasses from Apple. Yeah, don't do that, folks.
Don't do that. It's not worth it, especially for a product that doesn't yet exist.
Correct, and that might not work, and that'll need updates. Apple met with electric vehicle startup Canoo in early 2020, but talks fell apart, as we think we now know.
Because they were talking to Hyundai.
Yeah. Apple launches major new racial equity and justice initiative projects to challenge systematic racism and advance racial equity nationwide. God, there's lots of words in there which you've got to really think about.
Well, and so many of these words are now like not really made up, but they haven't been in like heavy use.
No, and
until
not
now.
and not in one sentence like that either. Challenge systematic racism, advance racial equity nationwide.
Systemic.
Yeah, systemic. Sorry, systemic. Of course.
Aluminum. Say that.
That's my aluminium. Yeah, that's my reading too fast coming in. Apple launches new nationwide racial equity and justice initiative projects. Now, the first one was a link actually from Apple itself. The second one was a follow-up. And it also says that actually a part of the 100 million racial equity and justice initiative, 100 million.
Yeah, there's like a huge building that they're making in Detroit and a few other socially
places. Don't dig, just say places.
I know, because no matter what I say, I'm going to get it wrong. So places.
Good for them. Well done. Apple can hit 3 trillion market value by mid 2020, says an analyst. I saw the word analyst and Apple and thought that's going in.
This is what he said.
You're on the right track.
Yes. Yeah. Belkin recalls portable wireless charger due to a fire hazard. Now, why am I mentioning this? It's because it's the portable wireless charger and they've got pictures of Apple iPhones on them. Now, Apple couldn't do this. They failed. They said it was too hard. Belkin brought these out, but it seems it's too hard for them as well.
It's not too hard. It's just you just have to get used to having your apartment a little warmer than you usually want it to be.
Interestingly, though, this stand was actually and a special edition stand was sold in the Apple retail stores as well. I've got a reference of WIZ003, so I don't know whether that's the only one, but you may, if you bought one of these, you may be getting a recall back. Apple Pay promo offers 4 months of free coffee from Panera Bread. Oh, I wasn't going to put that in. Oh, I've been and put that in, and I shouldn't have done.
And you said it anyway.
And I said it anyway. Okay, BMW announces plans to launch ultra wideband version of Apple Car's key feature by early next year. Great. Will it open my Honda? No. Hang on a minute, Steve. Are you there, Steve? Will it open my Honda?
No.
Thanks.
Will it open his Apple car, though?
Hang on a minute.
No.
That's good. It's BMW, isn't it? Ask Steve another question.
Okay. What do you think about the Apple car, Steve?
Every once in a while is driving us crazy.
Yeah. It's another Steve Jobs brilliant quote right in the middle of Gaz's snippets.
Yeah, that shouldn't have happened. Qualcomm buys startup, a startup founded by a former Apple chip designer. Sorry, Qualcomm buys a startup founded by former Apple chip designers. I mean, whether they think watch out now, Guy, for some lawsuits going backwards and forwards between Qualcomm and Apple on this.
So who's going to sue who, or does it even matter?
I think it's going to. You might as well put a coin on your thumb, flick it in the air, and heads or tails. Many iOS encryption measures unused, say cryptographers. iOS does not utilize built-in encryption measures as much as it could do, allowing for potentially unnecessary security vulnerabilities, according to cryptographers at Johns Hopkins University.
That doesn't even say anything. They've got stuff built in they're not even using, and because they're not even using it, it's not safe.
And it's not used. Because they're not using it, it's not being used. Okay, iOS 14.4 will introduce warnings on iPhones with non-genuine cameras. Okay. Well, people can fix the cameras, can't they? So people take them to repairers, and they may not are genuine. So now 14.4 will introduce a warning telling you. Apple's strict approach to secrecy in the spotlight after Hyundai walks back Apple car statement. So this was I think we referred to this last week, actually. We've talked about it, the fact that They went, oh no,
No, that's not happening.
No.
20% rise in stock price. Yay.
Yeah. So I can imagine Apple and oh my.
Indeed,
Who have we got
people we're gonna
involved
make
with?
a car with.
Yeah. Anyway, Apple shares trailer for upcoming Tom Holland movie called Cherry. Apple commits to Ridley Scott directed Napoleon Bonaparte epic starring Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I have no idea why it's pronounced
Joaquin
when it's spelled Joaquin. To me, that'd be Joaquin.
Yeah. Well, I went for Jacqueline, and you went, and you corrected me.
Yeah, and it was Phoenix.
Fish.
Great name.
How do you spell fish?
Fish. Oh, that's PHISHK, but the K is silent.
Apple TV Plus website gets the first UI update since the streaming service launched. I just want them to get their lip syncing sorted out. I'm still not sorted
out. And Bluetooth. Get that done first.
I'm not worried about Bluetooth. As I said, I've got 2 Apple keyboards, 2 Apple mice, an Apple trackpad. I've got no Bluetooth this year.
Yeah, it works great with your Apple devices.
Apple TV Plus orders a 2-part Oprah Winfrey biographical documentary from Whitney creators. There's a place near us called Whitney. Apple planning to bring music and podcast apps.
Same thing.
Apple planning to bring music and podcast apps to the Microsoft Store. Apple maintained its dominant share in the wearables market in 2020. Apple TV Plus premieres Tents for All Mankind Season 2 trailer in which NASA combats DoD militarization.
And they just gave away the whole season right there.
Apple developing a podcast subscription service to better compete with Spotify. Yes.
All right. Hold on. Apple releases the iPod, basically creating the podcast market. Now I'm guessing this is from an analyst, is saying that they're developing a podcast subscription service to better compete with Spotify, who's basically riding on their coattails. Sign me up.
By creating a paid podcasting service, Apple could potentially
a paid podcast service
could potentially lure creators with the promise of more money, stealing them away from other platforms like Spotify, SiriusXM, and Amazon. I do not listen to any podcasts which I have to pay for.
But also on that note,
I listen to them through ads.
On that note, you and I are totally on board with getting paid for doing a podcast. So we have 11 years of experience. We have a great working relationship. We can talk about almost anything. And for at least a few minutes to draw people in, sound like we know what we're talking about.
And then that's it.
But that's all you need.
And once they're drawn in, that first few minutes, they're hooked.
Yeah. It's like heroin. The GMen. We're like heroin.
GMen. Heroin in your ears. There you go.
Heroin for your brain.
Well, no, heroin is for your brain. This is heroin for your ears. Anyway, this is supposed to be my
probably
snippets.
like a really, really bad way to go with what we're talking about. So
it is.
Probably just stop.
Oh dear. I need to get out. Oh, I can't. Apple developing redesigned iMac with slimmer bezels, Apple Silicon chips. Well, there's a surprise.
I know. I was so worried about that too. An Apple device with slimmer bezels. Mind blown.
Yeah. So that's the end of Gaz's snippets.
Oh.
I do have a couple of links, though I've not put any links in. Really, I should call these Gaz's
snippy snips.
No, snippy snips. Yeah. Okay.
It's just like Gaz's snippets, but we just don't care as much.
Ford and Nissan will cut vehicle production due to a chip shortage.
Yeah, it has nothing whatsoever to do with the fact that hardly anyone is buying new cars.
I love it. Impala sues AWS after Amazon knocks the service offline. That's reference we spoke about that last week off. Site. So
everyone's really upset. And you know, the thing is, the service itself sucks. Honestly,
let's not worry about it too much. I just found it interesting that they're actually suing Amazon for knocking.
Just take their money. Take their money until they run out, and then they'll go away.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Shall I take us out?
Take us out, Gaz.
Okay. Now, everybody, I'd like to ask you to stand by because Guy and Gaz will be right back. So stand by to stand by. And as I said, yes, they will be right back.
And welcome everyone back to the MyMac.com podcast. And this is the part of the show, Gaz, where we get freaky. We get serious.
Freaky.
We put our hats on. Well, I always wear a hat.
You didn't tell me. I didn't bring a hat in.
I'm sorry. You know, it was like a spur of the moment thing that came into my head.
Well, you got to think about these spur of the moment things and tell me about them beforehand.
Really? How long have we been doing this podcast together? Spur of the moment with me. That's exactly what it means.
Absolutely.
And 5 minutes from now, 5 minutes from now, it'll be like, so what was that spur of the moment thing? Is like, I don't know. I'm making up as I go along. All right. Well, the main thing we were going to talk about, CES is going on right now, and we're not going to go in because I mean, all the podcasts have been talking about all the announcements at CES.
I just skip through all of the stuff that they do. It just winds me up. I tell you.
And you know what? It's bad enough when I take that with a grain of salt. It's bad enough when CES is live. You know, when there's a lot of people out there and you can see all the products and everything else. But for some reason, it's really cranked up this year with it being virtual.
Oh, of course.
Everyone is talking about it. And I think part of it is so many people are just bored with the typical stuff that's going on. They're like, we need something to talk about. So we're going to talk about CES, except for Gaz and me. We're not going to talk about CES.
Although we're talking about it now.
Conference.
We're talking about it now, but we're not talking about it.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the releases and the great new televisions and the Moana caster and, that stuff. No.
No.
We're going to talk about it as an event because this year, all the big conferences, including, and we'll talk about Macstock as well, all of the conferences have gone virtual because apparently nobody can get within 6 feet of each other without exploding. So, they don't want people exploding. So all the big conferences have gone virtual. It's like, hi, I'm Guy.
And if you remember, Macstock did a really good job about that last year.
They did.
Well done, Mike.
And hopefully, if he has to do it, and well, we'll go into Macstock in a minute. So CES has gone virtual. All of the keynote speeches that they've done with all of the various bits and pieces of CES have gone virtual. And the conference, the product showcases, all of it is basically online. And when I was doing Chuck Joyner's Mac Voices live show on Tuesday, the Tuesday night gathering that he gets now.
Yeah.
I love doing that, by the way. I know it's kind of late for you. That's at 8:00 at night Eastern time.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But...
Yeah, that's like 1:00 in the morning for you.
Sorry. I thought you meant 8:00 my night.
No.
1 o'clock in the morning's too late.
Yeah, it's a little late. So, but it's a lot of fun.
Them up. I'm Z-carring them up at that point, I can assure you.
Lots of Z's just coming up. So, but it's a really, really fun show. And if anyone who's listening, if you want something fun to watch on Tuesdays, that's a great thing to watch. So they, both Chuck and Dave went to CES last year.
Yep.
And so they press the flesh, and they're talking to vendors, and they're looking at the products and all the rest of that.
Yeah, Chuck's is probably the only one that I'd probably watch, if I'm honest, when it comes to CES.
Well, he does a good job at it.
Yeah.
But they had over 4,000 vendors last year that exhibited at CES. They had about 1,900 this year. And when I brought that up, because I was kind of thinking like, well, Macworld Expo, when Apple left, so did a lot of the big vendors there as well.
Yep. And
within 4 years, basically, it was done.
Yep.
And Chuck said something about, well, a lot of those vendors were the equivalent of the tiny town vendors that Macworld Expo used to have, with like knockoff products and things along those lines. And because they're doing knockoff products, it really doesn't make any sense for them to invest a lot of time and money in a virtual conference. Leave that to the people that are, trying to get interest in 3D folded phones or something, So with CES being virtual with less vendors, is there any way that a conference like CES could survive long term by going strictly virtual, in your opinion?
No. And I say no, I said that fairly quickly and fairly confidently, didn't I? As soon as we are in a world where people are able to get back together, it will go back to where it was. Not completely. I'm not going to say that it won't disappear, but if anybody tries to just do it online and it is of any size, I think it will likely struggle. And even if it's not of any size, a little bit like Macstock, the basis of Macstock is the people getting together.
Right.
So I think if a
which is different than like CES.
Yeah, totally. So if a large conference thinks, we can do this a lot cheaper and we can do it with a bit more money, they won't. I think a lot of the big vendors will then start going elsewhere because they want to touch the flesh with people. And as soon as we can start touching the flesh again, if take that,
especially in Vegas.
You know what I mean? Shaking hands and meet and greet, all that sort of stuff. And once we're able to do that again, I think that will kick back in. However, that doesn't mean that virtual will disappear completely, but I don't think it will be on a standalone thing.
Yeah. Well, for me, one of the big draws of something like CES isn't just pressing the flesh, but also seeing product demos with the actual products. Instead of it being, because Apple has been doing,
and that's what I mean by pressing the flesh. You're not just pressing the flesh, but you're showing somebody as well. Yeah, totally.
And like the last 3-4 months of 2020, Apple was doing these virtual keynotes. However, in almost every case, they were talking about iPhones. iPhones are already established. It's not like anyone is going to go sit there and go, ooh, iPhones, that's a new product category for Apple. I wonder if they'll actually be able to sell them. Even HomePods, even some of the services that they were doing. It didn't matter that they didn't have a big audience there to show it to, and they didn't have the engineers out there to put it into somebody from the press's hands and go, okay, well, you hit this button and then, your head turns sideways, or, whatever
well, it's not even that. It's about the sexiness of a new machine as well, because sometimes you see something on screen, but until you get it in your hand, you feel how, how it feels. And it just, you can always
the tactile sensation.
Yeah. Feeling how good a device is in the hand is so much better than just seeing it on a picture or up on a screen. So.
Okay. Well, and on that note, do you think that virtual conferences will be the new normal, or that, that this is kind of a flash in the pan as far as big conferences like that go?
I think there'll be an additional benefit
resources
to conferences. And that means that more people will be able to attend in terms of actually it'll make these things even bigger, and they'll make themselves more important through it, because they'll say, not only have you got X thousand people actually coming and, you know, being on the shop floor, as it were, but we can also push out to many people who can't afford to be here and make those big deals and have to be here for whatever reason, but actually can join virtually as well.
Yeah, for a lower price.
Well, yeah, maybe for a lower price. The vendors, it won't be a lower price because they'll have additional costs in making sure that they can feed those people as well as feed.
Yeah, but a bigger overall audience, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we were talking earlier about MacStock 2020, which ended up going virtual this year, and you know, as far as a conference, because I always look forward to going to MacStock, you know, whether I'm taking the train or driving all the way out to Chicago.
Yeah, it's whichever, whether you're going by tricycle and unicycle, running
all together
backwards, backstroke down the river, whichever way you go, you know, you've tried them all.
I pretty much have, haven't I? How does Guy get to MacStock this year? On a penguin.
Yeah.
So
anyway, you look forward to it.
I do look forward to MacStock, and Mike and all of the people that are involved in the background in creating MacStock 2020 or MacStock as a conference have always put out the extra effort to make sure that it goes as smoothly as possible. And for the most part, it has. He's got a great venue there at the McHenry Community College.
Yeah.
The tech equipment that he uses on stage, I can't think of any major snafus that have happened over the years, other than, you know, having the two of us on stage at the same time. But that
was a big mistake. But he learned from
we were the first. We were the first.
And I have tried to get back on many occasions, but U.S. Customs security have said, no, sorry, we're not allowing you in. You've got to fly back. But I didn't want to say that in the past because I thought it'd upset you all.
Somebody.
Y'all.
It's fake. It was a blitz again. Drunk apocalypse. Anyway,
I thought it upset y'all.
So, and when I don't think you say y'all in Chicago, I think that's more of a Southern thing. One of the things that they did for MacStock.
You saying that no American I'm talking?
Yeah, America, where I live.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. Sorry.
Yeah, we're just having fun. Don't get upset.
We'll make you upset in a minute when we start talking about football. Yeah.
Oh, that's coming. So one of the things that they had going on was that virtual conference room. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah, that was really good.
Oh my God. That was so much fun.
Revelation. That was a revelation.
Yeah. And the fact that you could actually have like different speakers set up in this virtual room, and you could have crowds of people going anywhere they want to go, and all they're going to hear is basically the noise, or the the noise, the audio of whoever it is that they're closest to, and everything else kind of gets backed off. I can't remember the name of that service, but it was really, really good. And Mike is probably, I haven't spoken to him yet about this, but he's probably going to have to make a decision, if he hasn't already, very, very soon, on what he's going to do for MacStock 2021, whether he's going to go virtual again or have like maybe a limited, or maybe even just open it all the way up again. Because one of the great things about MacStock, and I know this almost makes it sound like it's a fail, but it's not, because the number of people that go every single year has grown. It's typically in like the 200 plus region as far as the number of people that attend, which doesn't sound like a lot, but this is a 2-day event in a small community college in Bass Ackwards, Illinois. You know, there's really not much there in that part of Illinois. It is a
It's Woodstock.
Woodstock. Yeah, it's not like Chicago. It's not like I'm having a conference in Chicago. I'm down in Orlando or New York.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So to having 200 people for a small conference like that for 5 years or 4 years and one is quite an accomplishment. And I really hope that MacStock 2021 will come out of virtual.
That size actually increases the friendliness of that event and makes you feel as if it's a family event. So I think
it's more inclusive. It makes it feel more inclusive.
Well said.
Yeah. And while
said.
We both that's why I said it. We both hope that MacStock 2021 will be able to be live again.
Yeah.
But if Mike decides to go virtual again, and it's anywhere close to the level of professionalism that it was last year, it'll be well worth attending. So keep your eyes and emails open for any kind of announcement from Mike. We need to have him back on the show, by the way.
We do.
Because I'm really looking forward to MacStock 2021 in whatever form or fashion that it's going to come to this year.
I agree.
And you're trying to get me to talk about something else.
No, I'm not. I'm just.
Oh, no. We are we going to do that instead of you want to
do that in the after?
Oh, okay. La, because I'm right where I need to be in Farrago.
Do you want me to do it?
I can't find it.
Well,
I can't find it. Oh, I found it. Here it is.
Hit it. Gaz's tips. Mostly.
So professional.
Mostly. Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip.
You'll like this one, Guy.
Okay,
you will like this one. On your Mac, if you're in the Finder, if you hit Shift-Command-P, it brings up the preview screen. Big deal, you say. Okay. If you press Shift-Command-P again, the preview screen disappears. Big deal again, I hear you say. However, this trick works in any of the views. Whereas normally when you do the preview screen, it only works in one of the views. But if you're in grid, if you're in list, if you're in column, Shift-Command-P brings up the preview screen. Et voila. I liked that one.
I did too. I just wish it had actually worked for me.
It worked for me because I tested it 3 times before today. So I'm pointing at you.
It very well could be. And I'm nodding my head.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
You do have to be on a file in Finder for it to work, Guy.
Oh, really? Oh. Shift Command.
Can we do this afterwards?
Yeah. No, it worked.
Thank you.
Okay.
No for pit's sake.
No for pick's sakes this week, but we do have some email feedback. Yes to Gaz.
Yes, we do.
And some of it actually has audio, doesn't it?
We've got one with audio as well. So I'm going to go with the audio one first, okay?
All right.
This came from our...
Wait, hold on. I haven't heard this yet.
No, you haven't. You haven't heard this. This came from James T. Ormiston, Jim, who actually was on the #1 podcast that we did the other day.
Yep.
Over New Year or Christmas sometime.
It was,
anyway.
Yeah, the MyMac is Essential MyMac Christmas Special #1.
Well, yeah. There's going to be like 10 in the next 10 years. One a year.
Yeah.
Anyway, James sent this in, Jim, who's from north of the border. Here we go.
If you suffer from latency, leave earlier. MyMac podcast with Guy and Gaz.
That is such a wise piece of advice.
Oh,
Jim.
I love that. And for anyone who didn't understand exactly what it was he said, and it's an audio joke. It is an audio joke.
It is.
He basically said, if you suffer from latency, leave earlier.
Okay.
And Gaz did play that for me earlier. I thought I was going to pee myself. I laughed so hard.
I must admit, I wish I hadn't played it to Guy earlier.
It's still so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What else you got?
Well, Mr. Apter, a good friend, Mr. Apter, actually sent me a link to a new screen which has been released by Dell. It's Dell's 40-inch curved monitor. It's a perfect home office command center. So
40-inch.
I took a look at this. My response to Mr. Apter was, "Wow! At that price, I hope it makes tea." So thanks, Gary, for sending that in. It was about $2,102, I think the price was, something like that. That's a little bit out of my budget range.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Especially at the moment.
However, now I think I know what monitor he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is it Thunderbolt in, but it's got like all these other ports and stuff that you can use from it. You can turn it into like a hub. Yeah,
well, it's basically they kicked off ultra sharp 40-inch curved WHD monitor with a real estate of 5120 by 2160.
And here's the thing: if you have that monitor and you set it to 5160 by whatever that is, everything on that screen is going to be about that big.
You're gonna be blind.
Yeah, because I've got these two Dell monitors, these two 4K Dell monitors.
Yeah.
I use them at about 2.5K.
Yeah,
I use them at about 2.5K because anything above that, it's like, wait, hold on.
Wait, what?
Is that Pages?
Well,
or is it Left 4 Dead 2? Do I have to edit that or kill it? I don't know.
I got another email, Guy.
Oh, tell me.
This was from Christoph Winterholter. Hello, Gaz. Hello, Gaz. Been listening to the podcast for some time now and finally found a point I can contribute. Christoph, you could contribute. You could contribute anything, and it would probably be more intellectual and more satisfying to our listeners than anything we do. So,
your name
please,
alone. What's his first name?
Christoph.
Right over my head.
All I'm going to say, Christoph, is you're more than welcome to come on the show. Anyway, he said that he bought himself an M1 Mac Mini, just like us, Guy, you and me. He bought it just like you and me. And I asked the question, which monitor to use with the Mac. He uses the BenQ PD2500Q on his MyMac Mini. He said, on my Mac Mini. See what he did there? It is a monitor is well suited for work with photos because of resolution and color correction. Since you're also into photography, you might want to take this model into consideration as well. On another matter.
Well, what was that model number?
BenQ PD2500Q. On another matter, he says, what enclosure exactly are you using for extending your Mac Mini? Does it connect via Thunderbolt C, USB-C? He listened to the particular section in the podcast for several times, but couldn't make out the name or order model to find it in the internet. A slight hint into the correct direction will be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Looking forward to the next episode and the one after that and the one after that and the one after that and the one after that. Greetings from Chris. Thank you very much, Chris. Now, have you got the model in front of you?
I can. Yeah, I didn't know about this email.
Okay, so no, well, I've got it here actually.
Okay, good.
It's called Hagibis. So
See, this is the same problem we had.
No, I'm going to spell it out.
Okay.
So it's Hagibis. Okay. Now, model number might be a bit difficult because it's in Chinese, but model number could be MC25. Here's an SKU number, which you might be able to find it with, which is 605150. and that is a USB-C hub with the hard drive enclosure attached. I got it for about £39. I think you paid about $50 for it, didn't you? And
No,
that for
mine
me-
was much more expensive. Mine was
Yours
$73.
Okay, so I got a much better deal than Guy did, but I
Yeah.
actually got it direct from Ali,
Yeah, the Chinese.
the Chinese store.
Yeah.
So what we could do is put a link to the product in the show notes. So I'll dig that
Now,
out. for
is he
Guy.
in Germany?
I've got no idea. I've got absolutely no idea where Christoph Windhalter is based. He doesn't tell me. So I would say that his grasp of written English and his little cheeky sidelines means that he may not be in Germany. Now, I'm not saying that the Germans don't do comedy, because they do. But I've got no idea.
So many ways I could go, but
I know you could.
I'm struggling to just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I know. So am I. Anyway, so and I failed.
No, we love the
anyway,
Germans. We really do.
Of course we do. I didn't say
Yeah.
we didn't.
I have
didn't
been
say
there
we
many
didn't.
times.
I didn't say we didn't.
I've been there more than gas.
Have you? How
I
many
have
times
no
have you been
idea.
there? Have you been there? How many times? Come on.
Oh,
Is it more than 50?
yes. No.
Then you've been there more than me.
It's not.
Okay,
but getting
have
back to
you
that
driven,
product.
But have you driven round a skid pan with the Stig in Germany? I bet
The
you
only
haven't.
part of that sentence I understood was Germany.
Right. Okay.
And driven.
Any Brits or anybody else that's a Top Gear fan will know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Okay, that enclosure, the one that
Yes.
I bought was from a company called AG, or it was the AGPTEK.
Oh, yours is a different one.
It's the same thing because the box I came in had the same name on it that yours
Okay.
does.
Okay.
So these are basically being bought by different companies and then
sold under
redistributed.
different brands. Okay.
Yeah, and
Well,
the thing is,
I'll
they won't
put
even
my-
bother to put their own names on it.
No,
They
so
just
Chris,
no, screw it.
So
Here.
Chris, I'll give you my link because I got it cheaper.
Yeah. So you may have, because it's coming from Ali Chinese company. God,
Yeah.
See,
This one
that's-
said that actually said that it included any costs. So anyway, that's AliExpress.
it is. It's a very good. Now it's not Thunderbolt. It's USB-C, but of course they use the same connector because why wouldn't they?
I'm getting 330 plus speed to the drive, so I'm quite
Yeah.
happy with it.
Yeah.
Quite happy with it. So we'll put the link in the show notes, Chris, anyway, and you can take a look and make a decision because there are many options out there. Some are different, but this one,
Yeah,
I'm
don't
finding-
get. There's one from a company called Satachi whose products I actually like. Theirs doesn't include the hard drive enclosure.
Yes, and that's what I liked about this.
Yeah.
So
That was and that's the main reason why I got that one was for that. And I'm going to put the link to the one I bought in
okay. Do you have to
because
do it
I'll
now?
forget otherwise. Yeah.
Well, I'll
Come on,
remind you at
please,
the end.
really?
I'll
Sure.
remind you at the end.
Sure you will. And
Let's
that will make
move on.
all the difference, guys.
Let's move on.
That'll make all the difference. Okay. Do you have any more feedback?
No.
Okay. Thank you
isn't
both.
that enough?
That is enough. And
All three.
if you will send me his email address, I will send
will.
him something amazing. I won't say what it is, but it is amazing.
It is, yeah.
It is, totally is.
What about Mr. Apter and Mr.
I think
Ormston?
Gary has already got one.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, Gary, let me know.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve another one. And I'm sure James, if you haven't got one, let us know, and you can get a special prize from Guy.
I will send him one that is completely incomprehensible,
Yes.
which will be a special joke between James and me.
Yes.
Okay. Moving right along. Now that I've pissed off everybody in Scotland.
No, well, not everybody.
Yeah, well, maybe everyone except Jim. Jim will be like, "No, he's fine. I understand." And that's not at all
Now
what
you
it sound like.
Now you have.
Yeah, it's like across the board. If you're going to do it right. So, if you would like to help support, apparently, my part of the show that includes insulting entire countries, you can do that by going to patreon.com/Macparrot or complain to them. Coffee, ko-fi.com. Sorry, let me say that again. ko-fi.com/Macparrot or PayPal, where you can pay a pal. paypal.me/Macparrot. Now, Gaz,
Yeah.
if people wanted to get a hold of you and say, stop Guy from insulting our country, how would they do it?
I would say you're going to have to call the police because I can't do it. But
He tried.
you could ask me by sending an email to gaz@mymac.com. That's GAZ
Grr.
@mymac.com, or on the Twitters, twitter.com/Gazmaz, GAZMAZ. You can also contact both Guy and myself on the Twitters by twitter.com/Guy and Gaz, GUYNDGA. Wait for it, Z.
Guys.
Well done, you did a good job there. You can also send an email to feedback@mymac.com, FWDBACK @mymac.com. Now,
This guy's trying to slip me a Mickey. Only a rat would shoot a guy
in the
in the back.
back.
Guy was paid at 75 grand.
You know it was a guy? I like to go with Guy.
Guy says,
Pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain.
His name was Guy.
He's the guy.
No fooling.
Oh.
Guy?
You remember Guy? Guy's the one.
If you'd like,
An email from Guy.
how would they do it?
Oh, you are such a tricky guy. Tricky man. That's what you are.
Tricky.
You could send me an email.
Trixies I am. Trixies.
My precious. You can send an email. You can send an email to guy@mymac.com. Or you could find me on the Twitters, Macparrot or Vert Shark. You can also, well, I don't even know what else to say. You can find my other things that I do, Guy's Daily Drive, where I drive and talk. Mac to the Future Go livecast Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on the Facebooks or the YouTubes. God, it feels like there's something else, but I can't think of anything. Oh, the Skype number. Duh. The Skype number is 1 or +1, Gaz. Did you know about the Skype number? I know it's there in the show notes, but I don't know if you've ever seen it before.
Yeah, I hadn't.
It's news to me. It's 703-436-9501. And when you say oh, you have to go out like this, Gaz. Oh, you have to like tilt your head. Oh, yeah. All right. The other thing that you could do is dial 1 or +1 again, because I completely screwed up this whole part of the bit. And then the area code is 703-436-9501. Or if you don't like ones or +1s, and there are people out there who are probably 1 or +1 phobic, go right to the Skype app. I have no idea what that means. And just dial 703-436-9501. That's it. That's all you got to do. And I am going to say thank you. Thank all of you out there with this finger right here. Thank you for downloading and listening to the MyMac.com podcast. Don't do one without the other. That's what we're telling you right now. Download and listen. And Gaz, I think somehow we've gotten to the end of the show. I think that we are good enough. Not necessarily this week, but on other weeks we have been good enough. And that not this week, but certainly other weeks, and possibly at some point in the future, we've been smart enough. And that doggone it, people who contact us over email like us. Woof, woof, woof.
I've put the link in for pick's sake, and I've got to just say this. Actually, Hagibis, or however you say the name, have now got a new dock. It's the same price as the old dock, but it's the new color of the new Mac Mini 2020. I'm putting that link into the show notes.
Oh, nice.
And it's $54 US. There you go. Well, 54.91. So there you go. Now, QE Kuru, Loxub Metas, Practilicet Cassi on Ika, Ilmanija Cassi, Yeroanab Halvasti. I'm going to say, if you translate that, it says, if a bear shits in the woods, virtually, it is obvious and it does smell bad.
You didn't have a joke ready, did you?
Yeah, I have. I've got my joke ready.
Or you just wanted me to have to edit more.
I did. So,
damn it. Shit.
What color is the wind?
What?
What color is the wind?
I don't know.
Blue.
That took me a minute.
Yeah, it took you a minute, and that's the end.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.